Hey, everybody, welcome to Shine, where we're shifting habits, inspiring nutritional empowerment. Here at Shine, we discuss all things spirit, soul, and body. I am Cynthia Mobley Howell, founder and CEO of How Well Are You? And thank you so much for joining this continuing episode from last week about what my recent travel taught me. And what my recent travel taught me was regarding acceptance and patience. And how many of you out there struggle with accepting things as they come? And I don't mean that we have to always accept everything that comes our way, but there are times when there are things that come our way, and the word is coming to me and I'm going to use it. There are things that befall us, and I know that's kind of a different language, but that's the word that came to my mind, and that's the word that I wanted to use. Perhaps someone can identify with that word. So I don't mean that we have to accept everything that comes our way, but we have to know when we are supposed to accept a thing, as well as we must have patience when we're dealing with situations that are out of our control. After all, what are you going to do? Sometimes people just strive and toil and get anxiety and go off the deep end because a situation is occurring that's that you don't consider to be favorable for you, and you just lose it. I mean, I'll raise my hand. I've had those moments, but I'm learning to accept what God allows because I am his daughter, and his word does say Romans 8:28, for we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are the called according to his purpose. And there are some caveats in that, a couple of caveats in that. First of all, it's working together for your good because you love God and because you are the called according to his purpose. So I'm going to pick up where I left off last week, and this is probably going to be a few episodes about this situation about acceptance and patience because it was a pretty lengthy experience. So last week I left off talking about how I was stuck in the Miami International Airport for 9 hours a few weeks ago. And if you want to catch up with what I'm talking about, if you need the background, then watch my previous episode because I don't want to go back through all of that again. But the bottom line is, I was flying out of Orlando a few weeks ago. There was a delay because of that global situation with regard to Microsoft, IT, whatever. And so my flight left late, which caused me to miss my connection when I got to Miami. Thus, I was stuck in the Miami airport for 9 hours. So here I am going to be stuck in Miami airport for 9 hours. Number one, Do what you normally do when you normally do it. I guess you say, what are you talking about? What I'm talking about is normally, whenever I travel, I don't really consider the distance, but whenever I travel, I always take snacks on board with me. Why? Because I never know when I'm going to get hungry. You never know if you're going to get stranded or stuck. So I take snacks. So I figure, this is only a couple of hours, even though most of my flights are only a couple of hours. But for some reason, I just felt like was just going to be a hit it and quit it. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to take anything. Normally, I'll take like some nuts and some fruit, what have you. When I tell you your girl didn't take a thing, I didn't take one item that I could put in my mouth if I got hungry. Of all times, y'all, of all times, this is the time that I decided I wasn't going to take any snacks with me. So here I am, stuck in the Miami airport with nothing to eat. Normally, I don't eat until late anyway. Normally, my first meal of the day is not until about 5 o'clock. But before that, I'll probably have some nuts or a couple of mandarins, maybe around 11 ish, 12 ish. But just because of the situation, all of a sudden now I want to be hungry at 8:30 in the morning. Talk about good and hungry. And I probably was just stressed. To tell the truth, I probably was just stressed. So after sitting for a little bit, I decided to walk through the airport to see what there was for me to eat. Mind you, they had given me a voucher for a meal, $12. And if anybody knows about the prices in the airport, you know $12 was not going to get me much of anything. But okay, I'll take your little $12 and thank the Lord and do whatever I can do with it. So here I go walking through the airport. And it was like so weird because as I'm walking through the airport, and it's 8:30, 9 o'clock maybe now, somewhere between 8:30 and 9 o'clock by the time I started looking for something to eat. And, everything is open because people are in the airport, people are traveling. So everything is open. Well, there was absolutely nothing that I saw that I could eat. Remember, I'm raw vegan. Yeah, I saw fruit, but for some reason, I just did not have a taste for fruit. I wanted something that I could sink my teeth into like a salad. So here I am at 8:30ish, 9 o'clock in the morning, looking at the salads. So I stop at this one place and I'm looking at their salads, which was much of nothing. And it was like $9 for nothing. And I'm standing there looking at the salad, holding the salad, turning it upside down, and just contemplating. And I'm like, I want this, but I really don't want this. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, why are you the person who never puts anything in your mouth till around 11 or 12 o'clock each day? Here it is like 9 o'clock and you're looking at a salad to eat. I'm telling y'all, can I just be honest? just stressed out. I was just tripping because I'm like, I can't go. I can't believe I'm gonna be in here for 9 hours. But I was okay. But it just still was like not cool. So there's that whole thing about when you hear people talk about emotional eating, that is really what that boils down to. That was about to be some emotional eating. So I'm standing there. I must have stood at that um salad, that place, that cooler. I guess that's what you call it. I must have stood there for 10 minutes or so, just turning this salad over, looking at it, seeing what was in it. And then when I looked at the salad dressing, I'm like, well, I can't eat the salad dressing because I know it has animal products in it. I don't have anything to put on it. Do I want this or not? It, y'all, I'm telling you, it was a trip. It was a trip. Then I try to look at the fruit. They had bananas, oranges, apples. I'm like, I really am not feeling fruit. I really am not. I hate peeling oranges. That's why I don't eat oranges. I eat the little mandarins, the little cuties, because they're easy to peel. I'm not a fan of bananas, especially if they're too ripe. If I can smell a banana, it's too ripe and I don't want it. And I won't eat an apple because I don't like biting down into it. I like to slice my apples and eat it like that. One reason, because I have a cap on one of my front teeth, even though I've had it for years, and that's probably a real good reason not to be biting down into stuff because I have had it for years. And I just don't want to take a chance of biting down into something. And when I take it out of my mouth, my tooth is inside of it. Okay. Just being transparent. I ain't got time for no fluff and stuff these days. It is what it is. So the apple wasn't going to work. So I didn't want an apple. I didn't want a banana. I didn't want an orange. That's the only fruit that they had. And y'all, when I tell you, I ended up standing in that store. I ended up standing at the cooler where the salads were for at least 10 minutes or so. And then I was just walking back and forth, walking back and forth, looking at stuff that I knew I wasn't going to eat. But I'm thinking maybe something will strike me. But no, there was nothing there. So much for the world considering the raw vegans. That's probably a good business for me to start. Start a raw vegan kiosk or restaurant or whatever in the airport. I could make a killing. Okay, I just gave you an idea. So if you take that idea and run with it, I don't care. But that's probably a great idea because what about me? I don't, they're in there at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning cooking burgers. Of course, they have breakfast food in the restaurants and all of that, but I can't eat any of that stuff. I don't want any of that stuff. So I'm not getting anything. I thought about a smoothie. I'm like, I really don't have a taste for a smoothie. And then I was looking at the prices. Even though I had a voucher, I still was offended. Like, me paying whatever they wanted for a smoothie, probably like $10. That'll leave me with like $2. Some meal, right? So I was a little frustrated. So I just went back and sat down. I'm like, I'm just going to go back and sit down because there's nothing here for me to eat. So I'll just go and sit down. I did ended up buying some Pringles, the plain ones. And I know they're cooked. I know they probably have stuff in it like oils. I don't know. I don't care. But I'm just like, I just want something that I can sink my teeth into and I'm going to eat these Pringles. So I grabbed a can of Pringles, a little can like this. And they were like $5 or $6. That just aggravates me. I'm like, you know what? Y'all need to be ashamed of yourselves with these prices. This is totally, totally, totally ridiculous. This is highway robbery without a gun. Anyway, I got the Pringles and started munching on them, and they were good because it was something that was crunchy, and I don't know. It just they satisfied my taste buds. So I was good. I was good for a minute. So I sat around, few hours had passed, and now I was hungry. I really was hungry. So here I go again, walking back through the airport. This time I walked a little farther than I did the first time because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing something, something that could have been there, that because I wasn't walking far enough that I might be missing it. So I just decided to take my time and just walk the whole gamut of the quote unquote food court or where the food was. And of course, there was nothing. I saw a couple of restaurants, where you could actually go in and sit down and eat. But it's just, y'all, I was so, I don't know. I was tired for one, because I told you I didn't go to bed till like 1 o'clock that morning. I might have slept like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I don't know. And then all of this action. So, like, my brain was just not processing anything. And I could tell that my brain was like whacked because I just couldn't think. I was looking at stuff. I was looking at it, but couldn't really see it, if that makes any sense. It was just telling y'all I was feeling some type of way. Not because I was stuck in the airport so much, but because there was nothing for me to eat. I was kicking myself because I hadn't brought any snacks with me. And I was frustrated again because there was nothing for me to eat. And now I was really frustrated because now I was really hungry. Before I was emotional, going to be emotional eating, but now I'm really hungry and there is nothing for me to eat. Uh, Now that I've spent $4 or $5, $6 of my voucher, that only left me $6. And I was not going to buy any of that food in that airport. I just refuse. And somebody's like, oh, you're so cheap. No, I'm not cheap. Trust me, buy what I want, get what I want to get when I want to get it. But in those types of situations, that's when the rebel with the cause comes out in me. Like, y'all are crazy. And I know if I don't buy it, somebody's going to buy it. I don't care, but I ain't buying it. I'm not spending my hard earned money for that. So let me get off that soapbox. So here I am walking up and down the airport. Y'all, I don't know what I was looking like, but I felt like a zombie. It was it was just the weirdest situation because I have never experienced this before. I've never been stuck in an airport for going to be what was going to be 9 hours at the end of the day. So, believe it or not, I walked the whole gamut of the part of the airport where there was food available. Did not see anything that appealed to me at all. Almost, almost. It was a salad at some restaurant. Then I went into my head. I'm like, I don't want nobody else fixing my food. I don't like other people's food. People nasty. They're not clean. They don't practice good habits when they're handling food, good food handling, good food handling, okay, my words are gone. They don't practice good food handling because I can't think of the other word that I want to say. And so now I'm talking, now I'm seeing something that I could possibly get, but now I'm talking myself out of it for two reasons. Because I ain't paying that high price for no salad. And I don't want nobody else fixing my food. Because believe it or not, you all, I barely, ever, rarely eat out. Almost never, really. You may as well say never. I eat all my meals at home and I prepare all of my meals. So I know who handled my food and I know what's in it. So here I am, hungry, tired, and sleepy, and stuck in the airport. Guess I probably could have gone outside the airport, but then I would have had to go back through security and all of that. So I wasn't going to do all of that. So, hmm, I see that this video is right at 21 minutes. And y'all know I don't like long videos. To some of you, this might be long, but to me, this is kind of like my limit. So I'm probably going to stop right here and pick it up again next week. So at this point, again, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I'm hungry, and I'm going to be in the airport for the next, by this time now, it's probably about 11 now. So probably got about 7 more hours to go in the Miami International Airport with no snacks in my bag. And it was not looking good for the home team. So next week, when I come back, I'm going to talk more about how this trip taught me so much patience and taught me how to accept the situation as it was. And yes, although I needed some rest, I needed food, but I wasn't irritated. I wasn't snapping and popping at anybody. You know, in the airport, sometimes you walking through the airport, people be running over you and all kinds of stuff. But I was in a good spirit. So I was not in a good place, but I was not in a bad place, but I was emotionally in a good place because I was determined that I was going to shine. I was determined that I was going to let my light shine. Let my light so shine before men that they would see my good works and not pat me on the back, but glorify the Father who's within me. That they would see something in me that would make them say, what's going on with her? I like her demeanor. So I'm going to stop right there. This is Cynthia Mobley Howell with How Well Are You? And remember, it's your time to shine. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you'll know when a new video has been uploaded. Have yourself, that's how the Africans used to say, have yourself a wonderful day. This African guy that I used to work with, he would say, have yourself a good evening. So have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace and blessings, and I'll see you the next time.